Hi friends, welcome back. If you are new here, thanks for joining us. We're going to start with pulling some cards for the week. And this week I heard lots of affirmations and other things wanted to come our way. And I heard a message right before I got on here from the goddess Hekate. And her message was to be cautious, that everything is changing and watch what they do. Watch what they do, not what they say to you, okay? So look at the actions and the intentions of people. And then another message, they will mirror you to deceive you, but your heart knows the way. Okay, so if you have been wondering about a coworker, a relationship, or something like that, I hear that you already know the answer, but you might just be looking for affirmation, right? So again, that might not be for everybody in the collective, but that's what I heard. I wanted to share it with you. So we're going to start with past life oracle, because you may have been having heightened intuition the last couple of days, heightened annoyance maybe even. The retrograde has been, it's been something. It's been intense. And very vivid dreams, okay? So that's what a lot of us have been experiencing the last couple days. And is there a connection between our past life karma? Well, our guides seem to think so. So we'll pull a few cards and see what they tell us here. Well, our first card is the Warrior card, giving us courage and taking on challenges. With this one, they really want you to know that you're, especially for those who felt beat up over the last couple seasons, have really felt like, I'm taking on a lot, I don't know, right? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? These kinds of things. They want you to know that part of your past life circle here, part of your karmic circle, is that you do have that warrior energy about you. Now, you may have felt maybe you already feel that way. Or maybe you feel that's great, but I would like a reprieve. Your guides acknowledge that. They know that. They know that you have been working hard. Notice there's the horse here too. I don't know if you notice the white horse. It's the year of the horse. There's a lot of energy moving us forward, and many of us have heard that warrior spirit, the call, right? The call to really work on things that we find are part of our soul purpose, that we feel alignment to, and that are broadly helping not just us, but others in society. And so we've really adopted that. There's also another message within this too that I hear, and so again, you know yourself, right? So apply it to you. For those who always are wearing a lot of armor, there can be a softening during the spiritual awakening as well. There can be a softening, especially as you use your intuitive ability to vet people, right? Remember how we were talking about decoding people when I first jumped on? I told you I heard that message from Hekate. As some people, you may have had a hard time trusting your intuition in the past. Maybe there was red flags, you didn't notice them. Now you're I don't know if I trust me. Your guides want you to still soften and tune into your intuition, knowing you know stuff, you know the way. Okay? And then our next card is the Archangel Raphael. Maybe you have seen his energy, right? Or how he's cloaked. This is the image here, but a lot of times you just see an energy with him, with the green and stuff. So love, healing, and miracles on this one. And let's see what our message is with the Archangel Raphael. Healing is coming to you, is coming your way. You can you can manifest this energy healing. Not to say that you should not you use your good sense, right? Take care of yourself, go to doctors, all these kinds of things, mental health professionals. but you can augment, you can help yourself too, through through taking good care of yourself, right? Having a calming practice, having things in your life that are helpful to you. If you've been here before, we've talked about spending some time outside, not when we're in a heat wave because it's hot, but maybe other days, healing through nature, healing through trees, energy healing, right? Through like Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, all of the different types of modalities. There's so many different ways that can complement each other, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, if you listen to last week's the Wednesday midweek energy update, and I will link it at the end of this, that we talked about miracles and like a miracle, be open to miracles coming our way, that this was like kind of a manifestation season for that. And this message affirms that from our guide here at Raphael. Okay, if you want specific help from the angel, do remember to ask specifically, right? Ask specifically for guidance to come your way, right? Otherwise, they kind of, they let us do our things. Yeah. So, good messages so far. Now we're gonna pull another angel message and see what else they want to say. This jumped out at us, so we're gonna go with this one. This is the angel Chantal. Chantal looks like that. And let's see what this one is. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. Okay, so have you been on the lookout, or have you been thinking more about your love connections or your own relationship and how that's maybe grown or manifested? This is a time period where things may be coming your way. And be open. Yes. So I think remember we had that warrior card before, soften ourselves a little bit. Using our intuition though, right? Using our guidance that we know when stuff looks sketch, right? But also allowing ourselves to be open. So knowing how to balance the two, and our angel guides will help us balance that if we are curious, right? We can ask for guidance and things like that. So a good message. So far the messages are good. So all good stuff. Now we're going to pull some abundance messages, right? I think many of us are hopeful for an upturn of the abundance, or or an easing of like the money going out, if we have felt like expenses and money is just like flowing out, right? But like not necessarily flowing in an energy exchange that is equal or wanted, right? So let's see what they tell us. And we're going to pull a few here. The one that we dropped, first one we got was invite help. Invite the divine to pursue you. Seriously, just say, I'm finally ready. Pursue me. So, yes, ask for help, right? Because our guides would like to work with us and would like to help us. But, send up your prayer, your request, your plea, however you word it, because it is more... it is a better agreement, soul agreement, if you connect directly, right, with your guides. And you can connect directly with your guides and ask them to assist you, right, even with abundance and the things that you need. And it might be hard for you to ask for things if you're someone who's like always the helper of other people. I just saw a butterfly go right by my window. It might be hard for you, right? So it might not be the easiest things. You can, just sit down for a couple minutes in quiet and ask for what you need assistance with, right? And then other cards jumped out. We're going to go with it and see. First one is the peacock, extraordinary. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. I sure hope you're not like everyone else. The thing that troubles me sometimes with social media is that people want to like mirror other people instead of like just doing them and mirroring them and honoring the awesome weirdness that's them. And this card hopes that you will lean into what makes you different, awesome, special, unique, and that you own it and you cheerlead for yourself, right? I hope that you know that and you affirm that within you. And then our next one is having humility. Allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. So, yeah, sometimes it's hard to cultivate humility, right? We come from a space where we formed a lot of opinions. And a lot of times we did that or built up defenses to help us get through things and get through life, and to stop to ask for help or say, I've veered off perhaps my path, whether it be a spiritual path or whatever, your life path, however resonates with you. And so stopping to ask humbly, to allow for grace, and to realize, I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers, but I could use some assistance or help, whether that's with your discretion or with whatever. So humility. Interesting, right? Now, so already the lights are doing strange things here. So I'm hoping I don't lose power. I tend to think it's metaphysical when I'm down in this room. If you have never looked closely at the video, often there's like feathers dropping down, or there's like little fairy orbs or other things in the room. So the room where I filmed this is kind of enchanted. And sometimes the light does weird things also. But I'm just going to go with it. So, and then our final one with this one is freedom. And so remember, and these were all from like an abundance deck. And so for a lot of us, that is, I think, the lack of feeling like we have resources to meet our needs is making us feel imprisoned a little bit, making us feel stuck energy. And our guides know that this will create freedom within us. And within that freedom, we can do great work. The affirmation with this one is, I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bond. And to remember too, sometimes when we are caught up in the why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me repetitively? It's hard to stop and just, be like super positive and be like, what, be zen about it and be like, well, what's the benefit, or you may feel exhausted from it. And that is why asking for assistance and asking how this can connect to something larger could be helpful, so that those little seeds of resentment can kind of melt and soften you, right? Otherwise, we harden the heart chakra, and that's sometimes hard to hear. I know, I've often like run down the list of like what I could have done better, and all those, like everybody else, right? What other choices could I have made? How could I have done things different? Or like, how different would my life be being born into like a rich family, right? Have any of us like done that like game in our head? I think though, like the truth is, I don't feel like I would be me. I feel like everything has conversed to bring me right here, as I am with the gifts that I have. And I don't think that I would have that otherwise. So that's something that I think about. Right? Though sometimes we're tired, which is why, remember, we got the guides that we did. We had the Archangel Raphael, the invite help, ask for help. This is a great time to ask for help, okay? Especially for those of us who, we are givers. We do and do for our families, for our communities, for other folks, but we, don't often take the bestest of care for ourselves. Asking for help is also, I think, a form of self-care. I'm going to say it is, okay? Now, we're going to pull some grace cards, because I think sometimes we maybe beat ourselves up and are too hard on ourselves. And this could help us. And then I'm going to use a new deck. Well, it's not new, but it's new to me. A friend gave this to me, and I've yet to use it, and I've had it for quite some time, which is this Yogic Path Maybe you have this already. I feel like I have a cookbook that someone gave me from this, like an Ayurvedic, which is pretty good. So we'll see. We're going to read the guidebook from that one, and I think there might be a message that resonates with all of us in the collective. And then I'm going to update you on a book that I just finished today. I have like reservations about it. There's pluses and minuses. And I'm in that phase where I've just finished it, and I, immediately feel anxiety if I don't have another book started. I'm reading some nonfiction books, but I really feel, I need to start a novel too. So, okay, we're gonna pick 3 cards here. Okay, first one that we got was Valor. Super interesting, right? Because we had that Warrior card earlier. Now we get the Valor card. Be courageous. The unmistakable touch of grace will follow us wherever we go. Yes, they're really our guides. Are trying to encourage us, give us armor when we feel we need it. Shield us, allow us to also feel confident and know that someone else is watching over us, and that we can allow in good too, right? And that we can soften. So it's like 2 messages here, 2 messages in one, right? Next one is dance. I hope that we're dancing. When we ask for guidance, take action and put our faith in an outcome we can't yet see. We've begun the dance with grace. This is so hard. Again, we've talked about this. If you've listened the last few readings, we've talked about this, like that we might be on the Fool's journey, right? So if you do tarot, the Fool starts the journey, right? And what's the card look like? It looks like he's jumping off a cliff with his trusty dog by his side, and he's not unhappy, but he's not 100% either. He's positive that he needs to move forward, but it's shaky, the ground, right? And that's really hard. This is where really you need to lean into your guidance with your ascended masters, the divine, whoever you work with, or that resonates for you. It's something different for all of us, and everything's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be the same thing for everybody. But that's really going to be helpful for us, because that's the hardest time to make choices, to make changes, to make decisions, to move forward. It's like when we don't know every single little thing. It doesn't have to be like major life changes, like changing jobs or like getting married or whatever. It can be small things in our life too that we've just felt anxious about, or that we have been reticent to decide upon. There comes a moment where we can just let go and see what comes our way, and trust what we're hearing. Trust that we are able to discern the messages that come our way, right? Either through our feeling, any of our senses, right? Whether or not we see visions, we hear things, or we feel it in our hearts or in our guts. Does that make sense? I hope it does. For me, it does. And then our last grace message is invoke. Ask for the blessing. Again, it's the same message. We have to invite help. We have to ask, right? Be really specific. If you don't know how to get started with this, right? If you've never had like a prayer practice or anything like that, you're not really sure, like, well, how do I get? So I don't know how to get started. I don't know how it feels authentic. You can start off by writing it down. Maybe there's a particular guide you'd like to work with. Maybe it's this Archangel Raphael. Maybe you work with Michael, Mother Mary, Green Tara. It could be right, whatever you feel that resonates with you, and maybe write them a letter. Right? So maybe you're not great at sitting there and just conversing back in your head. Maybe it's better to write in a letter and specifically ask for what you need assistance with. Maybe that can help you. I do a lot of writing like that. That's a method that works for me. This could be something different for other people. Some people are better like power meditators. That could be for you too. Okay? So ask for help, right? Ask specifically, invite help. And now we're going to finish off with this yogic path deck, and we'll see if we'll like it, right? If we don't like it, if we hate it, we won't use it again. I got to throw my glasses on because I think the print is very small in this book. Okay, here we go. the art, the art and the coloring, and even like the back side of this is beautiful. Like that's the back of the card. Beautiful art here. So we got the Brahma, and let's take a look at the image. Here's the image. Beautiful art here. Now, what do they want to tell us? We shall see. Now, of course, as if you listened to me before, my number one complaint with any of these decks is that they do not put them in any kind of order that makes sense for you to find them if you want to perusal the guidebook, making it extremely difficult to find. Okay, and that is my librarian Laura, Virgo sun sign, complaining. Okay, thank you. So, Brahma, god of creation. It is time to create. Brahma, the center of the universe and all beings, has come to you with a message that now is the time to bring that idea to fruition. What is that idea you've been sitting on but haven't taken action on? Now is time to plant that seed into the earth and water it with your intention so it sprouts to life, benefiting all those around you. Brahma's rosary symbolizes the time cycle through which the world moves from creation to sustenance, from sustenance to dissolution, and from dissolution to new creation. Which cycle are you on? Now, you may have felt like some people have felt like they really needed like creative, energetic release. That's a great message, by the way. And so maybe that's through art, or it doesn't have to be through art. It could be through anything. Like if you have been thinking of a new side thing that you want to do, but really there's affirmation that this is a good time for you to birth something new. Put that out there, right? Again, it doesn't have, sometimes we get so caught up in like details and we go large right away, right? Like we see some stuff online and we're just like, okay, and Pinterest does you dirty. I'm going to tell you what, you get an idea in your head, I'm going to do this, right? Like I want to put a small free little library in my yard, in my garden. I adore gardening. And I'm a librarian, so shouldn't I have my own free little library? Yes, I should. So I can share the joy of books with my community. Yes. But it's not that easy to build. I took out a book and you need a million tools. They made it sound easy, of course. So, of course, now I'm starting to look on Pinterest. I'm on other places. And in my head, it's now becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And when I started, I just wanted it to be a small little bird box looking thing and garden and path. So I'm now bringing it back down to basics because I want to birth this to fruition by the fall, probably. It's too hot for me. I don't love being hot like it is right where I am in New Jersey. It's hot. And I would like that out. So I'm going to create something new. Gardening for me is creative energy, an outlet for my creative energy. But also, I instantly made it too big, right? And I think a lot of us do that. And then we're just like, okay, that's too big. And I give up. I don't have that. I don't have these kinds of power tools and I give up, right? So now I know myself, so I bring it back. So again, know yourself, bring it back if you need to. But it's a great time to create something. Again, doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be heavy. You could spend the day doing art. I had one of my good friends over yesterday, and that's what we did. We just painted art. We just ate food and did art because it was too hot to be outside. And we couldn't be outside with the fairies. It was too hot. We did art. Okay? So, great messages for the week. I want to just briefly update you on the latest book. And maybe you've read this. If you have, let me know. Share it with me. I finished listening to Broken Country, and I'll put the little picture of the book over here. I already forgot the author's name. Okay. So the audio is good. It's a good narration. I can't say I love the book. Do I hate it? No. This is what's wonderful about reading in books. There's something for everybody. It just was a little slow for me. Not is it the slowest book I've ever read? Like some of the stuff they forced us to read in 9th grade English? No. Did it make me cry? Not really. It's a story just about a woman and during the time period and choices that she made. I guess it's kind of a love story. it didn't hold me, right? Now I could see other people who read books like Aaron Hildebrand and like other authors. I bet they would really like that. So it just, for me, it just didn't hold my intrigue. Like the entire time I read it, I felt sad, but like not in a great way. It was like moody and it was moody. Are there plot twists? Not really. I think you saw it coming. Again, it's not meant to be a mystery. It's kind of a love story, and not to ruin it for people, but it kind of opens off this way, so you'll know it within reading the first chapter. It's basically the protagonist of the story feeling that she's like in love with two different men. That's all. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it got a lot of great reviews, and I think that there's great books for everybody, but like, it just didn't hold a lot of intrigue for me personally. Could be different for you, but not a bad read. Okay, I'm giving that a B rating for me. So what am I, in this limbo, what am I going to read next? Of course, through my library, holds take forever, as you've heard me complain. And then when they finally come, they all come at the same exact time when you don't want them, right? So I have now just on hold the Amalfi Curse and something like The Lie They Told, maybe? I think it's on Netflix now. I think they made it into a Netflix series now. I could be wrong. I haven't started either one. I'm going to decide later tonight on the two. So I'm never reading one book at once, by the way. I'm also reading in like nonfiction, like a travel, I think it's Travel Obscuria. It's like it's a book about like the history of foods throughout the world. It's pretty interesting. And a poetry book. So by Cleo Wade. If you haven't read her books before, by the way, they're excellent. They're like little short verses of poetry on just like how to be a better human. I do really like her. Her TED Talk is excellent, and and I find her writing to be very inspirational and good. So I think it's called The Power of Love. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's just a good short read, but also something interesting. Okay, I hope everyone's doing great. If you're new here, do consider subscribing. The next reading will be out in the midweek. I hope everyone stays cool and does well.